Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX Influencer A-List. I'm Aarti Krishnan and I have with me a very special guest today, Tarini Shah, who is a Gen Z content creator. Somebody we can all relate to and somebody who's always on par with trends now. Thank you for joining us today, Tarini. Why don't you go ahead and start by telling us about your journey of content creation, where you started and where you are today?
First of all, I would really like to thank you for having me here. Thank you so much. And about my journey, I actually started creating content like around 2 years ago, but I started like focusing on content during like the pandemic. And since lockdown, I feel a lot. There was like a surge of people on social media just looking for content because we were in our houses and that was our only source of entertainment. And I was lucky enough to be there at that time, creating content on the other side of it, and that actually is what kick-started my career, I could say. And then since then I figured that this is something I really like doing, and I continue it, and here I am today.
Tarini, so you're also studying, right? You're also pursuing your education while having an actual, putting in effort, maintaining your page, having an actual digital content creation, occupation on the side. So how does that feel, and how much effort does it take for you, in fact, to balance both of that?
So I feel sometimes it does get like really overwhelming because assignments have deadlines and collaborations have deadlines, like managing two deadlines, and it does get a little stressful. But I have a team of like people who manage me at Monk Entertainment, and they help me out a lot with that aspect of it. And when it comes to the education side of it, I feel I have two elder sisters, so the time management is something I have really learned from them. And my family is always there to help me out with anything I want. So that has really helped me balance it all together. But it does require a good to do list to make sure that both the things go out properly, because they are equally important to me, because education is important. And this is something I really love doing, and is kind of like my job. So the importance holds to both. So I'm not gonna like let one be less like priority, give them a less priority. But yeah, I do like manage it all together that way.
Right. Tarini, speaking of, you're saying that your education is most important. Do you think that maybe content creation itself can then be like a course that people would probably pursue, or would you then see content creation as your side hustle and then also go ahead to pursue a career apart, in a different field, or would you then after your education go completely into content creation because that's something you love to do?
So currently I'm studying bachelor's in management studies and I'm doing marketing. And what I'm doing is actually, content creation does turn out to be digital marketing in one way when you start doing brand collaborations. So they do have this little tiny like thread that connects them both. But I feel I am more inclined toward creating content because it involves a lot of different aspects like scripting, conceptualizing, putting the things together, idealizing, editing, and shooting videos. So it's like you're learning so many different things together, which can be applied throughout in various different fields. Like if I have like ended up learning Adobe Photoshop, I have ended up learning Premiere Pro. I know how to work YouTube monetization. So there are these little things that you learn through content creation. I feel it can definitely end up being a course because the monetary aspect is there, and this is just the start. Like there are so many content creators that are just coming up in the pandemic. So the future of it looks massive to me. And the brands itself, they are coming to a lot of influencers with various campaigns to promote their products because there's a direct connect between the people and the influencer. So I feel the scope is massive and there can definitely be a course around it. And I
Right.
would definitely love to
Of
do
course,
that.
Tarini, we were talking about the stress of having to balance your education and content creation as well. What then is the toll of it on your mental health? Because as a Gen Z content creator, you also need to keep in mind mental health of yourself and also the people who consume your content. So how do you then go about doing that?
So when it comes to that, I feel talking to people does definitely help. My family, my sisters, my mentors, my management, like, and my friends themselves, just talking to them about what's going on in my life. And because of this, I feel like am living my life. I'm living like my dream life, but I'm also want to low-key do those 19-year-old teenager things, which sometimes I miss out on. But just like, talking to people around me helps me like live my life through them a little bit. And that definitely helps my mental health. I mean, there's a lot of like pressure that I put on myself because there are so many people following you. You want to make sure that the content that goes out to them is right because you have this power within you, which you don't want to exploit or put it out in a bad way. So every time a content piece goes up, like keeping the check of other people, of somebody might, get triggered by this. So you put warnings. And this is something that goes on a lot around Gen Z content, is putting up warnings that that this is what's going to be seen in this video. So if it's going to trigger you, do not watch it, please. So those little things that us Gen Z have brought into this content creation world, I feel has really helped maintain our own mental health as well as others as well. So yeah.
Tarini, then does, obviously as a content creator and as a Gen Z content creator, like you mentioned, staying on par with trends is something that you would like to do, something that you aim to do, right? To create relatable content. So then does that add to the stress factor? Because you always need to be on par with trends. You need to do, you need to then create reels and content and continuously be, updated with all of the trends. Does that then add to your stress?
Sometimes it does. Sometimes I get this thing like, I have to make sure that all of my content pieces are relatable to everyone. But in reality, it cannot be because there are so many people and it takes a while to build that audience that is going to relate exactly to what you do. And that comes out with sharing pieces of you. And sometimes people will not relate to it. And I feel that is an understanding that eventually develops. So while I do trends, I do a lot of trends. I love doing trends because it not only helps content, but it's also something that's quick to get people relating to it. But I also add my twist to it because with trends, I don't want to just, melt into this world of social media. I want to mold it into something that's me, that's unique to me. So every trend I do, I add like a little bit of editing element because that's kind of like my USP, like editing. I really like doing that. So that's how I mold trends into what I would like them to be and get that audience that would like to see me. And that's how I turn everything into making it relatable to my audience. So,
right.
yeah.
Tarini, then, final question about content creation itself. Then do you focus on being real with the people who consume your content as well? Because we've seen that on the internet itself, body image issues can crop up because of the kind of media that we're consuming. And that is an age-old truth, right? Now with your content, are you trying to change that by being real and by being open with the people who consume your content?
I feel that's something everyone's got to now because lockdown and everyone's in their homes. And I feel everyone's become more comfortable with themselves. Even I myself have like gone through a lot of insecurities, and it takes a while to put those insecurities out in public when like there's so many eyes watching you and you're worried about the opinions of people, which is very natural to do so. But also like seeing other people on social media doing it, like putting themselves out there, dealing with their insecurities, encourages you as a person as well. So that's what I'm trying to do, is slowly and steadily, one step at a time, trying to put myself out there just the way I am. And like, looking at people, like I've seen comments where people are like, I'm so glad that you shared your insecurity because that gives me the power to share my insecurity as well. And we are all turning social media into this place where you can not only dress up and look as beautiful as you want to, but also shows that even if you're not dressed up, you're just as beautiful. So we are all turning it into this world, and I'm really glad I'm a part of that revolution. So yeah.
That's great, Tarini. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your journey and your process of creating content. Kudos to you and all the best. Thank you for joining.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.